down here. Okay, back again with another live stream. This time I'm going to do the back on the Net Pro Max with a setup with Fedora 28 and the DNS server. I want to try and have it answer, to my domain names, and perhaps stop having to use the dynamic DNS forwarding service. I learned about it years ago, but over the years I've studied on it back and forth, and now I'm refreshing because I've forgot a lot. Tried to set it up a couple of times, but I didn't ever get it working. I don't remember now how exactly what was going on, But anyway, now the last video, it's been a week ago, I guess now. I got it. I already had Fedora 28 server edition installed, and it's headless, or really just lacking the GUI. I mean, I've got a monitor plugged into it, so it's not really. Headless is like no monitor, no mouse, no keyboard plugged in, but people usually call it headless. I don't know why I always have to explain that every time I say it. It has no GUI, so that's the way. When you install Fedora Server Edition, you don't get a GUI. Now, my Fedora 23 on the IBM, I went ahead and found out the command. You had to run commands and stuff, and I found the commands and installed XFCE desktop, and I liked that, to be able to do more easier, on the machine. I actually thought I might use it once in a while. If it's already up and running, why not use it? Because it was right here in my room and plugged into my KVM switch. But it's not powerful enough. I didn't want to stress it. I just really never used it for anything. I installed a lot of extra apps, but this time I didn't do all that. I just installed things pertaining to the server and things I thought would help me remotely administrate it in case I decided to leave it without a GUI. But the 20 gig hard drive I used was actually not big enough. There's only like 2.5 gig left once I got it up and running. So I'm going to probably make a Clonezilla image of it, because I'm doing a lot of work on it, and then put another bigger hard drive in it, probably that 80 gig that was in the IBM, either that or a 30 gig that I have. But I think I want the 80 gig because then I'll have room to, and I can put that Clonezilla image on that drive, same machine, so it'll just run, be perfect. Just run just like it is right now, and then probably I'll put the GUI on it, probably XFCE, and then if I want to, as things progress, hopefully I'll do what I've been wanting to do forever and put some dynamic websites on there. And in order to administrate those, I'll probably need to go directly to the machine to do it, or at least remote desktop, because if I use this like I'm planning, like I'm thinking I'm going to do, it's going to have to be out in the garage. It's just too loud, this machine. It's a good little machine, just right for a little web server, that's not high demand. I don't have a lot of traffic. It's a 2.8 gigahertz single core Celeron, Pentium 4 class Celeron D. The IBM was a 2.5 gigahertz, same, This one they both had 2 gig of RAM. So, but this one's 64-bit. And that allows me to install the things that I want to install. And I had wanted to get into back then it was Docker, but now it's Fedora Automatic, and they're calling it a different name. It's forgot the name of the type of apps. Kind of, I might think of it later. But anyway, that's all just what I might do. Anyway, what am I doing right now? Okay, well, let's see, what am I doing? Let's check my stream. If it's good there. So let's get on the desktop. Well, let's see. No, let's get it booted up first. So let's just go straight to the machine. I've got a camera. We can see the monitor. Oh, I got to switch to it. I thought I'd go ahead and boot it up in the video, just to that way if anything happened out of the ordinary, I'd be able to show it, as it's happening. And we'll see how it should go. It should just boot right back up like normal. But I'm going to try to watch some of I won't touch anything until it gets on the boot screen, and then oh yeah, there's no GUI, so it won't be going to the GUI, I don't guess. I want to watch the terminal output while it boots up. Now, I know you can't read it, but if there's anything that I catch, I'll read it. Okay, yeah, it does have a little graphic. So hit a keyboard. I just always hit the up key usually, or the down key on the keyboard. So now I can read the terminal output. See any errors? They come up in red, and of course a lot of it goes by so fast you can't read it at all. But down towards when it's getting ready to be finished booting, I might see a few things. I wanted to see if I could see any of the DNS stuff starting up. Of course, I'll know. I'm going to run some commands on it and see. Just from that, I just now remember I'm going to have to get the password out so I can do that stuff. But so I'm just watching the ones on the bottom now. Modem manager. I wonder if that thing actually has a modem. I think that just comes with it probably, or something I might have added. Yeah, I added some groups of programs. Okay, the firewall, I think is what that was. It took a little bit to start up. Yeah, group name lookups. Let's see. Host manager. Yeah, I didn't really see. Now I could work right here on this command line, but then I won't have my cheat sheets that's on my computer, so I'll go. It tells you its IP. Let's go see what its IP is. See if I can remember it when we get in there. There's, well, this is the, let's see. Yeah, 192.168.0.153, port 9090. That's what I'll use to get into. Oh, okay. I never tried that. Web console. So it's got a web console too. Unless that may be the same thing, but it's HTTPS localhost 9090. Well, that would be from this. Oh. It's called a web console, but you have to do that from this machine, because if I get on the other machine, then the local host will be the other machine. So then you can log in, but of course I don't want to log into anything right here. Anyway, if I forget that IP, I'll look at my routers. But 153.90.90, that's the main thing I need to remember. Okay, so it boots up pretty quick. Boots up faster than the one I'm running on right now, because I got a few hang-ups in my boot sequence that I need. I did try to fix them once, and I did everything. The log notes told me to try, and it didn't fix it, so I haven't felt like messing with it anymore. I always things always come up that are actually like when my server quit working, right, and that's why I'm rebuilding it. I'm using my backup server now. Actually, the hard drive got damaged, and the whole reason I'm rebuilding the server is. And the machine still runs, but the root partition inside of the LVM got broken. Everything else is okay. I recovered my personal file. Well, my files. Well, they are all personal, I guess. But anyway, I recovered my files, and let's get on the desktop. And well, my files. Well, they're okay. Now, well, let's go to webmin right here. Okay, 192. 168.0.153. 153. 9090. Yeah, 90. That's in the recent history. So there we go. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to get that. I almost can remember it, but it's right on the tip of my brain, but I can't remember it. So there we go. Get that out. I knew there was a reason I had that open on my main computer, that preview page for my stream. It's because that's a place where I'd like to have it at the first section, the first one in my tabs. So it gave me a tab that was already open, and then as I open and close other tabs, they'll be on the right. I work from left to right. That's just how I am. Okay, so there's the graph of everything. There's one thing on here that I haven't quite figured out yet. Sometimes I've been kind of fairly well understanding since I've been reading, watching videos, and I did it, setting up the DNS server or the name server. A lot of times they call it that. This right here, it says join a domain. I went ahead and put bishopco.biz in there, and it didn't really tell me if it worked or not. I don't know. I'm sure you could probably join more than one domain. So it may be joined, but I don't know. Sometimes it's easier. I don't like editing all those config files and all that. I really have a hard time with it. But you can read through them, and if you get the understanding of them, you can read through them and understand what's going on sometimes. Easier than sometimes with the GUI. So it really goes back and forth. I kind of get a benefit out of doing both. I do remember the last time I tried to set one up. I think it was probably in my Fedora 14 system, and it's just got GUIs galore. Back in those days, there was a GUI for everything, and they're really dropping off on. I think a lot of the people that was really enthusiastic about, the programmers were enthusiastic about open source and hoping to make some money at it too. They did all that hard work, and then nobody donated, so they just quit doing it, or they moved on to, busier lives or whatever, and just didn't have time. Let's see, logs. Let's see. There's one that keeps coming up. I hope it's not. Let's see. Timeout too large, reducing to, okay, time max 1. DHC client. Okay, kernel, too much work. That always comes up. Whatever that is, serial 8250. Now, I'm not using anything on a serial port, so I don't know quite what that is about. IRQ22, too much work. It doesn't seem to hurt the way it runs or anything. But hopefully it's not something, unless I have something not working right, I won't worry about it. I've seen, there's always things like that on anytime I've had a server going. Let's see. Yeah, assuming drive cache right through. That's the thing that gets an error on my Lenovo i5, the one I'm streaming from. And it says, well, if you read what it says, it's like you wouldn't think you could mount the drives to boot the thing, but it kept saying it failed, but then it still works. The machine still works just fine, so I don't understand it really. That's on SDB. The other one doesn't say a specific drive. SDB, wouldn't that be... SDA would be the hard drive. SDB is probably the CD drive. Maybe that's what it is. It's sees the drive and doesn't, but it's a CD drive with nothing in it. Usually those are SRO, though. Okay, now here's on further down some more of those kind of errors. Dev SDB1, no such file or directory. An SDB, failed, no such file or directory. System, DUDEV. I don't know. What's that there? Let's see. Too much work for the kernel. That's that one there. So I don't know again. Okay, so storage. We'll just look at that. I'm just going over it. Try not to delay too much, but. Okay, yeah, it's clean. It's writing some stuff to cache when it's running and then cleaning the stuff back out. It's got 3.55 gig. That's more than the last time I had it running. And I haven't had it running ever since I worked on it last time, so at all, yeah. But it's only 18 gigs. It's not, you're not getting the full 20 gig out of the drive anyway. That's all that's usable is 18 gig. But so yeah, if you ever wondered how small of a hard drive can you run Fedora server on, well, this would be the absolute minimum, and I wouldn't run it like that because after it runs for a few months, it's probably going to completely fill the hard drive, and it's probably going to crash because the cache will fill it. I think the swap file would just be on the swap partition. Anyway, let's look at the networking. I don't think there's anything to worry about here. Connected, global. These graphics are neat, but on them, they do kind of make the machine work if you let them run too long. The users that I put on, myself and root. Of course, you get root no matter what. Services. Now, I went through a lot of that and tried to turn on my DNS server through here, and that didn't work. I spent a lot of time doing that. Finally, I went back and followed all the instructions. Well, I hadn't set up all the config files and everything. That's why. So let's see. let's do this because I know it's supposed to be running. Yeah, Berkeley Internet Name Domain, DNS. DNS doesn't have a B in it, does it? But Domain Name System is what that stands for. Berkeley Internet Name Domain. It's the way we say it now. When they originally made it up, that's who I think that's who the people Berkeley, this college, originally invented it. And you would think it would say Berkeley Internet Domain. Sorry, I'm over the cold, but the allergies haven't gone away. But you would think it would say they would call it Berkeley Internet Domain System or Service System, but they called it, and it is still called Berkeley Internet Name Domain. But everybody calls it DNS now, and I always thought it was Domain Name Service, I guess because it says Name B Service right there, but it's actually Domain Name System. I've been catching on to some of that. The caching server, it says inactive dead, but a lot of that stuff starts up and then turns back off. So so is that says it's inactive dead. A lot of things you have to turn them on, and if you can't get it to stay on, then it's not going to work. Caching server inactive dead. Okay, so that's the only things that say DNS. Just those three things, but it should be up and running. We'll see. So that's sorry, I didn't know I was going to be able to talk. I've been trying to get back to doing this all day. I had other things I had to do. Okay, applications. Yeah, there's some extra applications you can install from right here. I don't remember. I think I installed one. I can't remember. I guess. I think that might be what I clicked. I don't know. I thought I either did or I decided to wait until Fleet Commander. Manage desktop configuration for a large network. Huh. I saw large network and thought, I don't have a large network, but that might be something like Webmin, I'm wondering. Webmin, I might put that on here. Well, it depends if I decide to leave it headless. Diagnostic reports, that might be what I put in there. I installed something and it still says install. You would think it, oh yeah, updates. So anyway, I'm not going to worry about all that right now. I probably won't worry about that again until after I get it all on a bigger hard drive. Yeah, I got a lot more work ahead, and it takes a while. It has to check for the updates. I was trying to avoid smacking on a cough drop. I may have to have one. I didn't open up my bag far enough to be able to get one out of there. I'm opening my cough drop bag while that's loading up. That sure can be slow. Sometimes it's not that slow. Well, I turned on, and maybe it's not set up properly or something. I know in regular Fedora, I'm having a fight with all my stuff now. Under my desk, on my desk, it's under. I'd have to show you for it to make any sense, but that means moving cameras. But I have a first top shelf, a bottom. Well, actually, okay, on this right-hand side desk where I keep my mouse. Top shelf, second shelf, and then two pull-out shelves, and then another bottom shelf that doesn't pull out. And so anyway, on the second shelf is where my mouse is and everything. That's where my scissors are, and I got my scissors out. I'm just jabbering because that's doing. I'm waiting. We're waiting on that. So I do have a cough drop, but let's wait until we see if I'm going to have it. That is, I don't remember this screen ever taking this time long to load up. So I may get out of it. I don't like rushing it because we're controlling it remotely here. But let me go look on my system resources. Everything's good on my system that I'm working on here. I'm just going to go to the terminal so we can do some stuff. I don't want to keep messing around here. Okay, so I'm going to have to SU for sudo privileges, or for super user. SU is super user. It's not sudo like some people say in their videos. Sudo is try all this again. What the heck am I doing here? Oh, goofball. I'm already logged in as root. I remembered that the last time I used this. When you log into this application, what's the name of it? When you log into this remote application here, this is kind of like a webmin. You log in as root or regular user or whatever. And I logged in as root, so I'm already logged in as root. So yeah, I guess I better change my root password, hadn't I? I kind of left it at one that I don't really use anymore until I finished, in case something like that happened while I was making video. It's not the first time. So, yeah, if you break through my firewall right now, I guess you could break me if you're that sort of mean person, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Okay, so let me think. I'm gonna go ahead and get cough drop because I figure all that horrible coughing's not over yet. Okay, so all I really need then is a command. Right? Let's run some commands and make sure everything is up and running. Now the IP address is 192.168. So I'm going to put that. I'm going to put the local. I'm just going to go local right now. Haven't done anything to make it show up on the internet yet. See, my backup server is what's showing up on the internet right now, and I have to change my router to point to this machine here in a minute. First, let's just make sure everything's working like we think, and we're ready to do that. Now, one of the commands that I found last time, NS lookup, is real nice, and then another one is host TNS, and they give just a little bit different information, but I'm going to try. I'll do them both. Can't keep myself straight as to where I'm going. Okay, let's see. Okay. I guess you can get rid of the last thing. Oh, I deleted them, so maybe they'll stay gone. I'm looking through my previous commands to see if they've been used. I wonder if you delete them, if they'll come out, stay out of that memory. I don't know. The ones I don't want. LS Commander. LS Commander. Oh yeah. Oh, I was trying to find. So yeah, I just go. I just saw them. All those commands go by. Can't hit Control V in that terminal either. You can turn that on in terminals, and I wish I ought to try and do it. I wonder if you could do it in this program. There. You can't do it in here? Did I do it wrong? Oh, I do that every time I try to do that. Well, let's just get the last one we did. Get rid of that space. It's NS lookup without a space. Okay. Server can't find 192.168. Oh yeah, it's backwards. It lists. It shows it backwards. 192.168.0.153. Okay, it can't find it. 192.168. Okay, let's do this. See if it. Okay, so it's serving up the website. But this is name server lookup. That's what NS stands for, is name server. So my name server may not be running on boot like I thought it was going to. Let's try it one more time. Let's look at the command list again. Whoops. I may have to do some more of this. This is where I did the instructions when I set it up and all that. I might hit restart. Well, if I hit restart and it says it's not running, you can't restart it, then I'll have to start it. But yeah, let's get the NS lookup and the IP address. Or you can do the domain name. See, I was doing this with my domains that are online the other day. And then this other command, let's go to let's try host T NS. Let's see if that makes any difference. Whoops. Yeah, let's do it this way. There, you can just use the paste up in the browser and it won't be so hard. Every time I hit right click, it doesn't work. Not found. Okay. Well, let's go to these commands then. Restart named. What's the one before that? Well, query. Oh, ybind. DNF install. Ybind. Name check config. I'm probably going to have to do that, I guess. I mean, that's probably the easiest command out of what's right here and easy to resolve. Unless I just had it set up but not up. I'm pretty sure I had it up and running. I think I was able to go to it. Well, it's running. Can't find it. Let's try. Yeah, okay. Visualcode.biz, but right now, see, it's pointing to my backup, to my router, which points it to my backup server out on the real internet. See, that shows my, it's showing the wrong 184, unless it's showing it backwards again. 24, 131, 168, 184. Let's go in my router and see what my IP is. My external IP. That's what I thought. It's not. It's 47.15.82. So I don't know where that one's coming from. There is a, now see, there's my website. And that should be on my backup server. I don't know where that big long IP is coming from. Certainly not my router. Maybe that's my, could be my forwarding services IP or my GoDaddy hosting, IP. Maybe it's picking that one up. Let's try, see if it's the same thing. Okay, now see there's more on that. bishopco.com 0.1, that's the IP of my D-Link router. And then 53 is the name server, that's the name server port. There's that same IP again, it looks like. So I don't really understand that right there. And then there, the 184, I don't think those are backwards, those are forwards. 50.63.202, 184. That's something along the daisy chain between my hosting at GoDaddy to my DNS forwarding. But all those I don't know the IPs, but I do know my final IP. I'm learning this as I go. I guess that's pretty obvious. But and I don't want to change the forwarding to this machine yet. Well, maybe I should. Well, I've been waiting to take my server offline. I didn't want my server offline any longer than it had to be. So let's just do it. It's going to 154 right now. Now, what's the IP of my 153? Okay. So we're going to change port 80. This is on, change it to 53. Apply. Let's go ahead and turn the secure on, because this machine is going to have secure. It's going to have HTTPS by default, I'm sure. Could be one reason why. Well, no. I mean, we're not, now we're going to be able to go to it through the internet. I'll have to go into GoDaddy and turn off the forwarding too. 153, now so that's port forwarding. Now virtual server, yeah, I gotta save it too. Okay, this router's got a crazy interface. It's really, when I first got it, it was pissing me off left and right. '53. Okay, 153, save. Okay, so now our virtual server is going to this machine. Our port forwarding going to this machine and to a printer here. Okay, now I need to go to, and this always logs itself out, so. And when I go to GoDaddy, that's got stuff that might do me harm if people saw it, so I'm going to go to the camera so it's all blurry, so I can, you get a general idea of what's going on, but you won't be able to read it. And let me get my password for that. Yeah, might as well just try doing it live. I mean, I was going to try to check it locally, but since it's a bit mind-boggling sometimes, trying to jump in my mind back and forth from local to on the internet. And my goal is internet, on the internet, live on the internet. So if we can get this live on the internet, then that's the goal. So quit fooling around with local stuff. I don't understand why I'm on the camera, but it is seriously behind. Let's try camera 1 and then camera 2 and see. Okay. Thought I had it all fixed up. Okay, I see it changing. It's behind, but a lot of time, well, yeah, the the stream itself is behind. There's kind of a double lag there, so. Okay, so. Oh, wrong. DNS. I'm not sure which. I tried to hold down control and DNS management. Okay. 184. 168.241. 221. Where is it when I looked up bishopco.biz? Yep, there it is. Okay, so the IP address in the A name record, that's the IP address. Now, before I change anything, let's just go to that. Well, I guess that'll just take us to it. It should. But no, okay, there's an error. Yeah, and actually there should be because I still have forwarding turned on. So I think that's the GoDaddy's IP that it gives out. I was thinking I might have to change. Not that was what I was thinking. Well, actually, you can't change that. That's not one of the things you can change. I was thinking I might have to change the name servers. You can do that using default name servers. But I don't think I need to do that either because I think this name server will look for mine. Now, I may be wrong. This may be exactly what I need to change. I may have to put the name, my name server in here. But then, well, it says domaincontrol.com. It doesn't say an IP address. So, I'm not going to click on it right now. But that's something I'm keeping in the back of my mind that I might end up having to change. I might be able to. Well, it's got NS11, NS12. So what mine would be like, I would just probably be NS1, bishopco.biz, or com, NS2, bishopco.biz, NS3, donsongs.com. I guess that's what it would be. Once I put all that in the config files of my computer. That may be what I have to do. But right now I have forwarding turned on, going to bishopco.us.2. Well, that's not going to work now. Well, it didn't, did it? Let's try. Okay, right now it's working. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that should be this machine. Now, see, I don't know for sure which machine because they're both identical. And I may have to put something. I thought about actually editing, putting an image or something. I just thought, well, I'll take a picture of the NetPro Max. I already probably have one already. I can just put it on this page so that I know that's where I'm at. But right now, let's just turn off the. See, I have no way of knowing it. They both look the same. Whether I'm going. The only way I know is because I forwarded it to this machine. Well, yeah, there is a way. 153. Oh, I can do that anyway locally. That's not going to help. Okay, so yeah, see, I'm trying to make sure I'm going through the internet. So I just need to temporary forwarding with masking, update my name server settings, support this change, get rid of it, delete. Okay, let's see. Features may be unavailable while process your updates. Some updates require confirmation. Please check your inbox for possible email. Well, the last time I did this, I didn't have that problem. So, Yeah, okay, now it's not forwarding, not set up. Okay. Give myself a little screenshot of that. Okay, now, since I've got so many pages open, I'm going to leave the ones I think I need open. If I end up having to do that, it'll be later. Okay, now, I should code up biz. 47, 47 to 02 6350. I believe that is the backwards of my IP address. Sometimes it gives it backwards and sometimes forwards. And I saw a video that I watched some good videos the last few days that gives the ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, 47 24 15 182. Okay. Yeah, 47 what? 47 24 15 182. Well, that's not the same. 47 is the only thing that's the same. So I don't know. I might have to go back into my. But it did answer, non-authoritative answer. Okay, now there's authoritative and non-authoritative answers. And basically, authoritative comes from somewhere like, let me see. Can I remember enough of that? The non-authoritative answers comes from some cache on some name server somewhere. Could be any name server, like mine that I'm setting up. Authoritative comes from something, a name server that is. Let's go ahead and see if we can open that up because that's important. Oops. Let's get off that page. I think it just caused my control, caused it not to work right. Okay. Yeah, non-authoritative name servers. Okay. Okay. I think down at the bottom of this, all this, it was a forum post. Okay, I think somebody. Okay, yeah, first you need to understand how DNS systems work. And they're divided into 3 tiers: root DNS servers, top level domain DNS servers, and authoritative DNS servers. These are the ones, yeah, authoritative, of course, but these all are the ones, official ones that work together. I'm not going to try to go into the whole thing. There's another class of DNS server usually called local DNS server, which is specified on your operating system. Yeah, you can have that, like Windows used to have that by default. Windows XP did, and or you could turn it on and off, I think. Okay, when your browser connects to websites, example.com, the browser first queries your local DNS server to get an IP address for example.com. If the local DNS server doesn't have an A record, like I was mentioning there on my setup, for example.com, it will query one of the root DNS servers. The root DNS server will say, I don't have an A record, but I know the top level domain DNS server, which is responsible for .com domains. So then the local DNS server will query the top level domain name server, DNS server, which is responsible for .com domains. The TLD DNS server will respond, I don't know either. It really sounds silly the way they set it up. I know which, but it obviously works so quick that you don't realize all this is going on. Which DNS server is authoritative, for example.com. Okay. So your local DNS server queries the authoritative DNS server because the actual DNS record is stored on that authoritative DNS server, so it will give you your local DNS server an answer. Okay. Then this query result is cached on your local DNS server, but it can be outdated. That's where you get those weird IP addresses. When the TTL, time to live is what TTL stands for, has expired, your local DNS server will update the query result from the authoritative DNS server. That's to help it go quicker. So that, like, if you have your local DNS server, which I could, like the one I'm setting up, but well, there's different ways. There can be domain name servers and, well, root servers and so on and so on. I'm going to be a name server. NS is what they use, the terminology name server. Mine is going to be a name server. I think I've got it set up right. So whenever you query the authoritative DNS server, whenever you query the DNS record on your local DNS server, it returns a non-authoritative, unofficial answer. If you want to authoritative answer, you must explicitly specify the authoritative DNS server when you use NS lookup or other utilities. I think the local DNS server should be called caching DNS server, which, yes, I think I've learned that myself. When someone registered a domain name, can specify which DNS server is the authoritative DNS server. This information is called the NS record, and that was some of the stuff on my GoDaddy page I was looking at. The NS record will be a top-level domain, which is like .com, .biz, .org, you know, so and so. The DNS server, which name server holds the domain's A record, MX record, etc. Okay, so that was a good long explanation of kind of the rundown of it. Short but long explanation of how it runs. So anyway, when you run, just run some of those commands, and perhaps I'll be able to. It'll come back in my head. I don't think I need that page right now. I'm not sure. You know, I did the restart, and it just said restart. It didn't say can't restart it because it's already running. So I think I was already up and running when I booted up. Okay, so I did NS lookup. Now let's do the host name one. I think it ends up giving you out more information. Host name, bishopco.biz, okay. Bishop.biz, name server, NS12, domaincontrol.com, that's my GoDaddy. And that would be authoritative name server. And then it's also 11. So there's a backup. You know, there's two of them because one's the first one, and if that fails for some reason, there's a backup. So that's good, but that still doesn't get me to. Now I should be able to use my IP address. Let's do NS lookup 192.168.0.153. Okay, can't find it still. Okay. 192.168.0.153, is that right? Where's 153 in here? 154 won't. Actually, I can go to it. I can go to it because it's on my local network. Okay, 153, and it's up and running. So now it could be that it's up and running, but for some reason it's not working on the internet, because this is going through the internet. .153, not found. Okay, so maybe I should have kept going trying to get it to show up on the local network. I thought I had confirmed that it was showing up on the. Well, I guess I never did. Okay, so the name server doesn't seem to be showing up, local or internet, of this machine. Well, let me see. Just try to go to bishopco.biz instead of being all, yeah, see, it's not going there. It's not being all, instead of being so technical and basically bobbing like a bobber on the lake, you know, just over my head. Sticking my head above water once in a while. Yeah, see, it's not going there. It's not even saying it can't go there. I don't know why. If I say .com, actually that shouldn't work either. Well, BCOM, no, there's no such thing as a BCOM. Oh, that worked. Oh yeah, because it's now that works because I'm using the redirector on .com. But biz is not working because I'm still not working. Now there's two possibilities. I either don't have something set up right in my config files, or I have to go to GoDaddy and change that, those NS1, the name servers, to the IP, my external IP here. Well, actually, I might be needing to put it to, like I said, my NS1 bishopco.biz. I'm going to have to go through my config files again. Okay, now I had this open. Let's see if I can find. Let's kind of just go through this. I didn't go through this in great detail. This is the Fedora instructions from the Fedora docs site. I didn't go through this in detail because it's actually for Fedora 18. And doesn't even go any newer than 26. This is their old documentation, so they have a new one. I found that out not long ago. But I think this is maybe the only. It didn't need updating, I think, and so they didn't update it in the other versions. Let's look and see. Yeah, installation guide, release notes. See, there's nothing in 26. I believe that's all the versions of Fedora. I think, unless it's just numbers. You know. Let's see. Installation guide. Okay, let's see what's on 7 here. Yeah, installation guide again. Yeah, I'm right. So these are the versions, you know. This is Fedora 18. So you got to watch out when you get on that. Maybe why they made a new documentation site. I was always doing that, getting on here and not noticing what was on the left side, and I was looking at the following instructions and running commands for an old version or something. Okay, so name config named. Okay, this the first clue I had that it was old is because it started out with yum install by and chroot. So installing, let's see. Look up, that's not in there. And just going through NS doesn't find me anything very fast. I'm just going to kind of go through it. Now that's some of the stuff about commonly used options in some of your config files. This is more of like the theory of how it works, and then you go do it. And then the reason I use those other pages is because they give you actual examples and say edit here, edit there. Because I just haven't been able to wrap my head around and even if I wrap my head around it for a few days or a month or two, then it goes away. So if I don't do it, well, used to if I did it every day, you know, or every month, I'd remember it. Now I could do it every day, and if I don't do it and I still forget it, actually, I have to be honest. Okay, listen on the port, var named, okay, zone, allow query, zoneexample.com, controls, key, logging. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to actually help me anyway, because it's go to files, secondary name servers. Okay, yeah, it's not going to help me. And the one that I used to do this, went through to get it up and running. Let's go back to it and go through the. It's really short. So, you know, you install DNF. See, this is DNF, at least. It's newer. Systemctl enable named, which it's already up and running, so that should be okay. Firewall. I did those originally. Turn those on. Now, that's something to think about. What about that port, if that port 53 is not open in the firewall, but this is the only way. Can I get to the firewall in here? I think I can. Yeah, I think I can. Oh, you can. There's a graphic way to get into the firewall. I think I'm going to click reset the terminal. Services, no, networking. There it is right there. Firewall on, rules. I have let's see if you click on it. Maybe that's where you add rules. Yeah, here we go. Cockpit, that's the name of this thing. Yeah, DNS 53 is already open. I did that at the beginning so I wouldn't forget. So my port 53 is open. Multicast DNS, I open that up too. Yeah. SSH so that I can get in there to copy files and stuff. Port 80. And actually, I guess I need, now there's something I don't have open. Let me go back to my firewall. Yeah, bishopco.biz isn't opening. Didn't give me an error either, which is very unusual. Okay. So I need to go to my port forwarding, and I need to open up 443, add a service. Nope. I guess it'll probably say SSH or something. Already got SSH. IMAP over SSL, POP, mail. That's all mail. Okay, let's just be a little more patient and read them. Manibaculous, cockpits, DHCP, IPv6, DNS. FTP, www, here we go, secure, HTTPS, HTTP, that's already there. Network printing, no. Now this is on the firewall for the NetPro Max for the Fedora 28 system. This is not my firewall, of my D-Link router. Oh, good point, Don. I'm going to keep on looking through here. Virtual machine management. It's got pretty much anything you can think of. You don't want to open this, this is what I'm opening up to the internet. I don't want to open up anything but what really needs to be open to the internet. Of course, if you're doing a mail server, you'd have to open those up, or if you're doing a pulse audio, not pulse audio, but if you were doing SIP, like for the telephone, internet phone stuff. I'm trying to say, multimedia stuff. SSH, I don't want that opened up to the... I already have that. Oh, it's still in there. It doesn't go away just because you have it activated. TFTP, UDP. Multimedia stuff is what I'm trying to say. Audio, video. WebM. Okay, so we're going to add... Added it. Where is it? There it is. 443. Okay. Now, now let's look at... Yeah, it logged out. Just as I was clicking on it, it logged out. It jumped up in my face. That thing does it just when you don't want it to. I'm glad that it logs out. So 443, 80. I think there's another port, but I'm not sure if I want that one open or not. Oh, it's just 443 and 80. Okay, that's all I want open, and that's what I've got now. All right, now let's go ahead and try our, let's just try to go to the site again. I don't think it's going to work. You got to wait a little bit because it might take a little longer than you expect. But at least I know that Only I got that. Does that? I don't know what. When it don't work right, you get these automatically generated folders. But I'm not getting those GoDaddy errors like I was getting them. When some of my links weren't working on my site. Okay, so that's open. Okay, well, you know that the whole internet authorities have pushed for everybody to use SSL. I mean HTTPS, SSL encryption. So that's why I'm trying to get that working. I don't have that. I don't have any of that supported on my. Never have had it. I didn't have anything that you logged into or did anything. It's just look at my site. If you want to download my MP3 music, then do that. But let's go ahead and go to the terminal and try those commands again just to make sure. Yeah, let's try that. Still not seeing it. Still not seeing it. Yeah, okay. It sees bishopco.biz at GoDaddy. Okay. Let's go ahead and put NS lookup in there. NS lookup. Yeah, okay. But it does see that the server is 192.168.0.1, so it's getting to. Okay, so if it's getting to my router, non-authoritative answer, bishopco.biz, then it says 184.168.22.52, which I think is not backwards. I think that's the way that IP is supposed to be. But my bishopco.biz does not work. I guess I should leave that open. Well, that IP may be in my GoDaddy settings. Oh, dang it. I was just sitting there thinking, well, I guess I'll have to get back on the camera so that I can go log into GoDaddy again. So look at that. Go look for that IP address. But I never remembered to get off of the camera. I'm sorry. I've been showing a horrible video when I didn't, for all this time when I didn't have to. Dang it. What did I just do? So yes, I'm back on the GoDaddy, so I'm not gonna DNS. Okay. That IP address is not showing up so far. Okay, that's not coming off. That's not anything that's listed in my GoDaddy. 84.168.22.52. Basically, what's really. Oh, it says parked. My A record is parked because I took the forwarding off of it. That's not going anywhere. Usually you'll get a parked page from GoDaddy when that's happening. Now I can edit it at parked. Custom time to live. Oh. Now what did it say before? I absolutely can't remember. Well, that's why we do screenshots. Okay. Because I did do a screenshot of that. That's why I do screenshots as I work. Sometimes it saves my bacon. I got too many things open. I'm going to close that program. All right. Yeah, parked. Name servers, got rid of the, don't tell me I didn't do it. I don't think I did because it didn't seem to be important to me. Sure didn't. That was a video. I always take a screenshot of it. If I want to stop a video that I'm watching, I'll take a screenshot to see the time that I left it at. All right. Let's see. Yeah, this is some screenshots I took of some of the progressive. I was watching through my video when I was setting it up. Basically, I was just looking to see what were those commands I ran. TC name config, system CTL restart, name config zone file. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think my name servers. Well, if I did change them, I'd have to set them up. I know that. Maybe I need to go find out if I have something in there, but it's parked, so that we don't want. I know that much. So I could either put my IP. Well, I guess I have to put, or do I put? Man, I wish I could remember. Well, let's try putting bishopco.biz in there. Or should we put www? No. I don't think you put the bishopco.biz in there. But we'll do it. See if it'll let me. Yeah, you can't do that. It's got to be an IP address. There you go. So that means that I got to put my IP address. If that's really how I have to do it, then it's not going to help me. Unless I can give the IP address. I mean, I can give my IP address. Let's do that and see that I think I'm right and it'll work. I don't remember what it is, so we'll have to go to my router and get it. That's easy enough. Once I get out of GoDaddy, I'll go back to being on a desktop. Don't let me forget. Let's make sure that is my IP address like I think it is. Yeah, that brings up my website. All right. So now, if I put in my, but see, that's going to be changing because it's dynamic. My public IP address. Okay. All right. Now let's try bishopco.biz 47241582. All right, and that was the NS lookup command. Host T bishopco.biz. Now it still gives the NS12 and NS11 domain control.com like we would expect. Oh, let's go ahead and go. Let's close my GoDaddy, and I'll switch back to desktop so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here's the last commands I ran. NS lookup bishopco.biz 192.168.0.1. Same address with the port 53, and then it says non-authoritative answer bishopco.biz because my DNS server is not an authoritative server. Then there's my IP, my external IP 4724.15.82. This is what I've been looking for. Now, host T NS bishopco.biz, that shows my name servers, which are from those are my GoDaddy name servers. Now, let's go ahead and use this right here. I'm just using that slot so that I don't. Oh, yoo-hoo! Okay, that's how you do it. That's what it takes. Now, unless there's another way around the block, that is how you do it. So I'd have to change my. What I had to do was change my. Get rid of the forwarding. In my case, get rid of the forwarding that I've been using on. Get rid of the forwarding that I've been using, and I'm thinking it's got my head, the little squirrels running in the squirrel cage in my head. It's got me thinking about things here, but I'm going off to my my DNS forwarding service and in my head and all that. Let's see how the site works. It's not going to work any better as far as my music side, I don't think. No, it still does the same thing. See if it still, yeah, it still gets those errors. It's because bishopco.com still goes to the, it's still going through the forwarding service, and that's when my problem is my bishopco.com links. If I click on one that's a local link, it works. It's set up on my site, but it used to all work the other way. That's why I'm trying to get to the root of the problem. If I redo my whole site and then find out that it's going to break it when I do the DNS server, then no fun. Okay, so that one works. Oh, that went to, yeah, I can tell right where I'm going. It goes up here at the top, see, bishopco.us.2. bishopco.biz. I don't think a single one of these links are going to go to a bishopco.biz. Let's see, home. That's still bishopco.biz. See, that's bishopco.biz index HTML. Now, if I go to hosted by bishopco.com, now it's bishopco.us.2. See, and that's because I'm using it's all hosted on the same machine, the NetPro Max, in the same folders, but you're going around the block two different ways. This is going through bishopco.biz domain name, and it is going to GoDaddy hosting DNS servers, and then I put my A record to my IP address of my external IP address here of my of my D-Link router, or really I guess of my modem. That would be it's the modem, then the router, and then the machines. I'm kind of excited because it is actually working. Okay, so and right now, let's see, DonsSongs.com should be working just the way it normally would. It's bishopco.us.2. But of course, the problems haven't gone away yet, and they may not. But anyway, all my domains, let's just go to my domains. They should all still be working. Now, this one's masks, I believe. Yeah, see it. I think no matter where I go, I can always tell if I click a link. Doesn't really matter just as long as it's on the same site. Yeah, well, it didn't work right, but it's masked. I had several of them masked, so it looks better that way. If it looks funky to somebody, like what the heck, I went off the site, So, but I couldn't do anything about it on bishopco.com. I couldn't change. Well, I could mask it, but I didn't because it's bishopco.us.2, and I thought, well, that doesn't look so bad. DonsSongs.com. I used to have it masked, but I took the masking off the other day when I was trying to figure out what was going on. Bishopco.biz. Now let's do this. Just to be sure. Well, I know I'm not going to now. There's no need in me. I was saying I might put something to tell me which machine I'm on, like an image of the NetPro Max or something, but I don't need to do that because there's no doubt in my mind. I'll just show it. Go to my router. I've been to this stuff so much lately. I can click on those where you were lately links. Don't you just love tracking? Your browser's tracking you everywhere you've been. Forwarding. So I just showed that when I set it up. But see, I changed the forwarding to 153, and it was 0.154 is the Gateway 500 out in the garage. I call it the Gateway 500. It's 500 megahertz PDM3. And so I just got through setting that up and changing it from the Gateway 500 to the IP address of the this machine, the 153. So let's see. And I was trying to think, was there something else I would show here? I wanted to show. Star. don't even see the gateway showing up, but it was working a while ago. Sometimes that happens; they don't show up. 153 Bishop Co. That's this machine. Zeus Tech. That's the motherboard that's in it. So that's the Net Pro Max, and various other things. And there's another Bishop Co. The old original. That's the IBM. It's not. It's behind me in the floor, but it's still hanging around in here, even though it's not there. Maybe my time to live is. I might have set it to keep that IP address forever. I probably did. That's why it's still showing it up. But well, you want to keep, if you're going to do a server, you want it to keep the IP address forever, because if it gets given to another machine, then it breaks your server daisy chain going to your server. Okay, so we're at bishopco.biz. Let's try it. It's not showing whether. So let's make it go to HTTPS and see if that still works. No. Oh, your connection is not secure. Okay, but that doesn't say there's not available, so I'm going to go to advanced. Use an invalid security. So I do have a security certificate that Fedora 28 set up for me. So, okay, yeah, that's not a malicious site, so I want to send it to them. Okay, now, you can view the certificate, bishopco.local domain. Yep, that's my machine. And it probably, I'm wondering if I should have changed that to bishopco.com to get everything to work the way I want. But I don't think I have to. I don't think it matters what your machine's local domain name is. It's as long as you set it, the server part up to being, the right domain name, which is part of what I've been doing. Okay, there we go. Now we can go there, HTTPS. So that's all up and working. So, cool. So it's working. I can go there now. It's going to give you that little, you have added a security exception for this site. So the reason why I balk at turning on that, because of all that right there. What I'm not sure of anymore is, okay, so some people may have their browsers set to only accept secure connections, and they're just not going to go to my site at all. Either way, it's going to hang things up. If they get that warning, they're probably not going to go there if they don't know anything about the site. I don't. If I get that, I don't pay much attention. I just don't go there. So I'm not going to be paying for, security certificates. That's for darn sure. There are some services, some open source outfits that'll give you a recognized security certificate, but it's really hard. I've tried. It's really hard to add them. It's about like setting up a DNS server. So I don't know. We'll see. I may end up turning off all that the SSL, turn it all back off. But I do have it running on this server. And yeah, definitely if I keep it like this, I'm going to do my darndest to make a backup image of this, like with CloneZilla, and then transfer it to the new, bigger hard drive. Because if I don't want to start from scratch with all this again. So, getting excited about this, though. I had kind of thought about, I thought I talked about before, well, maybe I should just keep it in this room and just use my Raspberry Pi, but it's just a 750 megahertz, and that versus a 2.8 gigahertz. 750 megahertz with 512 megabyte of RAM with an SSD card that I know I've seen them get broken over and over. I don't know, about 5 times, I think. On that one that I've got, the 4 gigabyte one that I bought with it. And I was going to put this 32 gigabyte, which is a newer card and faster, and I know that the better quality of the card, the less likely they are to crap out when the power goes out, but that's not going to be a good server, especially if I couldn't run any of this stuff. I could run my basic website, I'm sure, with the HTML, but that's about it. Now, so I could use, actually, I have that Acer laptop, dual core with, I think I have 2 gig of RAM for it now. I bought a power supply for it. Does not have a hard drive. I could use the SD card in it, 32 gigabyte. That'd be big enough. I think it has an SD card slot in it. I didn't look at it. If not, I'd have to buy a hard drive. And so I could run that in here, unless that fan's noisy. Sometimes, like my Dell 1525 laptop, that fan would drive me nuts. I couldn't have it running all the time. But it has a battery, and when the power goes down, of course, if the power's down, you have no internet connection. But it wouldn't. it wouldn't get the file system corrupted, you know, because the battery would keep it running. And battery runs down for, you know, if it runs long enough to run down, then it'll shut it down automatically. The machine itself will, the BIOS will shut it down, so to protect your. So let's put this in, Dons web servers. Now let's go back to not HTTPS. Now it doesn't have the warning or anything. See, Dons web server. Okay, so this is working. I mean, I'm so pleasantly surprised. I can't believe it's actually working. That I'm just beside myself. This is a hard thing to do for me. This whole thing, and it actually went way better with that. Those instructions I used, way simpler than a lot of the others, and it is just your basic setup. I would have to go looking through those files, those setup files, to figure out what else to do to add the rest of the domains. That's right. I can't test any of the other domains without. They'll have to stay forwarded until I. Right now, this one's working like it should. But here's the thing: when this is something I don't want to do, I'd probably just go ahead and use the forwarding service, because when my IP address changes, this is my IP given to me by my ISP that's dynamic and it's going to change. When it changes, I'm just going back and forth because I'm not quite sure. Well, I'm going to go to free DNS, and I'm going to. Then I think I can talk about it. I think I'll have to log in here. I guess I'll go to the camera too, so that I think I'm going to have to log in. I don't need that file anymore, or that one. So maybe I'm logged in. I might have saved the. No. There. Yeah, I did save it, but you still have to type. You still have to kind of type in the page to get to the. Okay, now this part I can show. I'm trying to figure out how I can go through this in my own head, actually. So now we're back to being on the desktop, I think. Okay, so here's my forwarding setup. This is my subdomain, the free subdomain, and it just so happens they had one that looked like, you know, I have bishopco.com as my main. Oh, that's the root of my website. That's the way I set it up. And then I have, you know, donsongs.com, bishopco.biz. Well, bishopco.biz goes to the root as well. But then donsongs.com goes to another folder in that website. I guess I should show the website directories to explain that. And I will in a minute, I think. And then, you know, psalm68.com and .org, they go to their own directories, which I think are, well, I think they are different directories from each other. They're slightly different. And anyway, bishopco.us.2, just, you know, that seems like it's part of bishopco.com when you just see it. It just seems like, it doesn't seem something wrong, you know. That's why us.2 was their domain name, and I got the subdomain of bishopco, you know, .us.2. That's, they have thousands that you can search through, and that was the one I found that I thought would work for me. And so I got it, you know. And this is a free service. Now you can pay and get more bells and whistles, and it's a good service. I've used it for years now, and if I'd get any more out, you know, I probably should just pay for it just to thank them for doing it by now. You know, actually, I might be able to do that nowadays. I never had any money, but maybe here in a while I might be able to. We'll see. But anyway, 47.24.15.82. Well, that's my IP address, my external IP address that I'm getting from my ISP. Right there. Okay, so that I have just been putting in manually. When my IP address changes, you can well, there it is, last IP, same IP right there. You can trace Authtrace. You can use that tool. Let's don't do that right now. Okay, so there is where is it? Let's go to the main menu and it'll talk about the dynamic DNS forwarding. Now I used to use this. I used to actually use DNS for years. It was free too, and then they decided to stop being free, and that's when I started using this one. This one's in Canada, based out of Canada, and the other one was based in the U.S. But and DNS, I started to go ahead and just pay for it, but it was like went from free to outrageously expensive, like 5 times more than what my domain names cost, you know, and stuff. So just to have the dynamic forwarding service, so it just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't pay them that much, you know. I'd pay them, but a fair price, but not that much. So anyway, manage your domains, example, afraid.org. That's their main domain, afraid.org. So brand, I'm not going to go through all the subdomains. Okay, that's what I've got. Where's the dynamic DNS? Okay, here we go. Backup DNS, so and so. That's all. It's all kinds of stuff. I mean, I didn't know what most of it was. I had to learn. Okay, this is where you get your URLs, so you can use the update your records within the single HTTP request, good for those who have IP address that change and do not want to log into FreeDNS every time to update their IP address. I'm ending up just been doing that because I had trouble getting the dynamic DNS setup stuff to work. Now, there's different ways to do it. Oh, they've got an updated interface. I think it is easier. Yeah, easier it is, easier to understand. Okay, so now here's mine right here. Now, right here, I can actually use this. Now, what it does is it automatically, with Dyn, it would automatically tell GoDaddy, this is where it is now. It would tell my new IP address, and I didn't have to do a thing, except for you did have to go log into DNS every so often. Back when, and now this one I think will do the same thing. I don't know if I ever had it working or not now. I can't remember. I've been using it a while now. My IP doesn't change all that often, so it got to where just by using those email notices, when I get a notice saying your website is down, then well, if I keep getting a notice, like if I get it's been down for quite a long time, a few hours, then I'll say, okay, I better check my IP, and I just been manually updating it. But there's the different ways you can do it, but one of the easiest ways in Linux is to use a cron script. And so if I generate a cron script, cron job script, these are all comments, as you may see, and this is the script down here. I can put this script in my. I'd have to figure out how to do it remotely, you know, but I would install this as a cron job or set it up as a cron job in my NetPro Max, and it would automatically tell, okay, this may work. Why wouldn't it? This may do it. This may be the answer. Well, but okay, this would be the answer as far, but I'm still using the afraid.org forwarding, right? And that's what I was wanting to get away from, because I want all my websites to actually go to their own my name server to send out. I want my name server to send out the. I was hoping my name server would be able to send everything out. I don't even know how to say it, but like in GoDaddy, their name servers are, when I was in the terminal over here, you know, ns11 domaincontrol.com. So if my name server could be ns whatever, that doesn't matter. I know that you just make that part up, and it's your own thing. So if my name server would be able to say to the world, to the web, hi, I'm ns1 bishopco.com. Well, I think this is how it would work. Hi, I'm ns. Actually, it would probably be ns1 again, but let's just say ns2 bishopco.biz, ms3 donsdeals.com. I guess I got a bunch more learning to do. See if that's possible. I haven't seen anything to tell me one way or the other whether that would work. But I do have it up and running. That part of it's working. I guess the only way to find out if my website will really work is to add, I probably should have just started with bishopco.com instead of .biz. The way my website directory structure is set up and the links, it all goes back to bishopco.com, not bishopco.biz. So if I would have set up bishopco.com in here like I have, and you can still do that. You can have more than one website. You can have, I guess, as many as your machine can handle. But I have to go back into all those files and add bishopco. It should be easier because I can look at the files, see what's in there for bishopco.biz, and then duplicate it, and then just change it to bishopco.com. So yeah, this way I could use the forwarding, and I might even be able to use this script. Well, I should be able to set this up in my NetPro Max or my backup server too, like have them both. Put this script in the cron jobs, and it will go ahead and tell well, what it does, let's see. Oh, okay. What it does is it tells, I would point, and maybe that's why, maybe that's one of my things I didn't have set up right. I would need to point, maybe I need to put my ANAME record to go to afraid.org. I thought that's how I had it. So if my ANAME record was going to afraid.org, then I turn then I set up the automatic updates to tell, I set the dynamic DNS, the automatic updates with this cron job. Or there's programs you can actually install on your computer. I used one for years and that worked good with DNS. And some your routers can do it too. I might be able, I don't think my router can support it. Well, I tried turning it on and it didn't work. I remember that. Yeah, your router's actually the easiest way to do it if your router can do it with the service you're using. And that might be, yeah, there's not a listing for afraid.org, but dynamic DNS. Okay, let's see. So it's disabled. Now, see, I tried it out. I tried hostname bishopco.us.2. Server address. Well, that's what? Oh, DNS, D-Link DNS. I guess you can buy. I think you can buy one that from D-Link, and then DNS you have to pay now. Manual is what I tried to do. So what it would actually be would be. I've never seen a. That's the thing. I'd have to, I'm turning myself around again, but it seems to me that I would want to point that to the afraid.org. See, just like that, DNS. I think I've tried putting afraid.org in there. My host name, yeah, and then my username for afraid.org. That's what I would think I would do, and I think I've already tried that and it didn't work. I'm not going to do it now. Because I don't want to be showing up like, I'm afraid I'll show up passwords or something. But, and actually I don't want to change it right now because it's actually working. I don't want to break all my websites. I'm tired. I'm getting tired now. I'm going in circles. So I need to quit trying to. I'm not going to go anymore. As you can hear, going in circles about a lot more work. Several days more work. So I think that might be an. Oh, and here's, dynamic update candidates, us.2. Oh, okay. Direct URL, wget script, curl script, currently linked on. Yeah, it explains to you how. This is how I learned all this stuff. I learned enough to do it with DNS, but then I learned a whole lot more about all of it with this site. This website taught me a lot. And they give you the service too. But anyway, okay, update, A and AA records. Now, if I understand that right, maybe it really does go and tell GoDaddy, hey, the IP has changed. But, well, this site doesn't know the IP. Yeah, no, that's, yeah, this site doesn't know your new IP unless it gets told. Yeah, I was right when I was looking at my router. This site has to be told that your IP has changed. And so you need to use a program or a script or a cron job. Like that other one was a script. That other one was a, where did I get that? Somewhere I clicked on that generate a script. Let's see, we get direct URL, curl script, quick cron example, yeah. Oh, this is the old interface, and I was looking at the new interface. Now here's another cron example with a lot more comments to tell you about how it all works. That part I think is still pretty much the same. You do have to edit some of this, I believe. Maybe, I'm not sure. But, and I've done it before, but direct URL. Oh, it has not changed. I don't know what that one's about, to be honest. But it hasn't changed, so I had to get more back into it again. But anyway, yeah, here's the one that says generate a cron script. But I tried putting that, thinking that I was not reading all the instructions, tried putting that in my router. I'd have to read these instructions again. But and in this machine here, I actually tried putting this in this machine, and at first I was thinking that's where I wanted to put it, and I thought, no, wait. I mean, that would technically work, but it really should be on the server machine, because this is going to have the same external IP as the server. But if they ever got, as long as they're on the same, same modem, same ISP. But it'd be better if it was on the server, so if anything ever changed, it would still work. So install the cron job on the console, enter E, then press 2 lines, bottom page, and then save. You can print so-and-so. But that's all. That's your commands to do it for mine. This is for mine, Anyway, it will tell. Yeah, this will tell freedns.afraid.org that my IP address should change, and I don't have that up and running. So I could do that. And then it would automatically update my external IP address when it gets changed. It would check and see what it is and then update it in here. Now that would be, I had that working, like I said, I know I did with Dyn. I'm not sure if I ever had it working with this or not. After changing from one server to another, I think that's when I had it working on my old Dell, 400 megahertz Dell is when I had it working on. I think I had a little application. You can install some. They used to give you a list of applications you could install, and I installed one. I think I downloaded one and installed it. But anyway, and it did work. But, well, then later on I discovered that I changed routers, and my routers had it built in, and I did it that way for a long time. The Linksys router that's in the garage. This router supports it, and it even allows you to do a custom one, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. That would be the way to do it, actually, instead of putting that cron job on I think. Might be easier to put the cron job on the server. But I think, yeah, when I was doing it on the Dell 400 megahertz Dell, sometimes it would not work because it's something that the router did. So some kind of changes, But yeah, if it's set into the router, I don't remember it ever going wrong. So yeah, I would try to set it into the router. I think I could do that. I just have it was just easier to just go manually change it every so often is what's been going on. Okay, but that's to use the forwarding service, and that's now what I'm getting back to is if I have to go and put this external IP address in the A name records of every domain name every time it changes, if that's the only way that I can do it, then it doesn't matter if I have a DNS server or not. So it's just too ridiculous to do that every time. That's 4 or 5 domains, and so they'll all be down until I go do that. And a lot of room for me to make mistakes there, I want it to be automatic. I guess I'm going to have to get it on the GoDaddy site and look and read instructions and see. What am I on? I think I'm going to right before, I think I'm going to go to GoDaddy again. And log back in, so I'm going to put it on camera. And, I haven't logged out yet, so I don't have to log back in. It leaves me logged in longer than I would expect. And so, yeah, let's go back to this domain. Manage. Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's just like renewing and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 domains. And they're all pointing to this same server. Of course, I have the backup server, this server, and the IBM. Well, if it wasn't broke, it would be another one, which was my main server. So yeah, so in the A name record, I also have a subdomain on this one, and it's forwarded with the A name, the type A name, and there's just, let's see, I don't want to mess it up. I think if I click on it and don't do anything, it won't. So the only thing you can do is host type, and it's the ampersand. That's the normal one, the one that does. There's specifics to all that, what you can do. Time to live custom 600 milliseconds. That's it. That's all you can do there. Now, I don't think there were. I suppose. Well, I tried to type in dynamic. Yeah, there's no dynamic DNS settings in here. I don't even, they might offer a service, a dynamic DNS forwarding service. They probably do. And it would probably be $10 a month or $5 a month or something. And I kind of think I've looked at it. And it's too expensive. It's expensive enough just for the domain names. I mean, they're like $20, $25 a year now. Let's see. So, NS Name Server, NS11, domaincontrol.com. Now, unless that's what I need to do, again, well, you can't change that. That's, okay, I can't change that. Oh, not right there. I can go down there and change it. I can change choose the default name servers. Custom. I want to click on custom. Okay. Are you trying to connect your domain to a Wix, Weebly, or Squarespace website? Okay, that's fine, but we strongly recommend you keep your name servers with GoDaddy, since our infrastructure is more secure than any other, fastest so your website pages load more quickly, the most scalable to support your servers around the globe. Choose one of your easy templates to connect your website to host without losing the benefits of keeping your name servers. Oh, so you can do Wiggly, Wix, or Squarespace. Of course, I'm not using any of that. Name server. Now, if I could put, now this is, okay, now this might be the way I could do it, because see, it says NS11 and 12, domaincontrol.com. That's not an IP address. So if whatever I have mine named, I don't know what I've got it named. I guess it's broadcasting its name. So let's say I would probably call it ns1bishopco.com. I guess I would probably give, if I would either have to give it a name for the whole machine, just for this machine, or I can give it a name per domain name. So it might be, like I said, ns1bishopco.com and ns1bishopco.biz. So I might be able to change this to, I don't have that in my config files. I'm pretty sure I'll look and see, but ns1bishopco.biz, and then you do 2 of them. So I'd do an ns2bishopco.biz. That's what I'd realistically do. And then I'd probably do ns1bishopco.com, ns1bishopco.2bishopco.com, and like that. Or I could do 112233, you know, and so on. Add name server. And then it would look for my name server, and as long as it's online and on the internet, I don't know though. My A record, I don't know. I might be able to leave that it doesn't make sense to me that I'd be able to leave it, and I don't even know what the default. Well, I guess I can hit. Oh, there is no back to defaults there. Yeah. Whatever I put it in. Well, now, you know what that could have been up there before? That could have been going to, wonder if it went here to, I don't think there's anything on here about A records. I'm on the DNS, free DNS site. A records. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of GoDaddy again, and I'll go back to the desktop. I can show this site without worrying about much. I'm gonna say DNS auth trace. Let's do that. That's a good thing to do. com, because I'm not using .biz on here right now. There you go. That's the whole thing. The authentication trace. NS42 domaincontrol.com. It's going through a jillion domaincontrol.coms. GTLD servers, .NET, root servers. The root servers, I remember was reading about that a while ago. 198. This is the path that they actually take to get there. And then it's going through a jillion. I'm not sure if it actually, that's probably all the backups and other ways it could go. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure. I don't completely understand the whole thing. Domain query, bishopco.com. ns1.afraid.org, not found in name server list. See, now that might be, well, it says it's not found. Well, ns1.afraid.org, that's what I could probably put in there as my name servers. I don't remember. It takes a lot of studying to get all that figured out. But let's go to business to see what it says. I think it'll trace it even though it's not going through here. Yeah, it will. Well, it's still going through domaincontrol.com. Yeah, because I haven't changed that. So it really doesn't change anything. ns1.afraid.org, that would be their name server then. That'd be their first one. Let's see what, let's trace ns1.afraid.org. Let's see what it does. Goes through a lot of different stuff. Okay, I think this is, no. I was going to say this might be all their subdomains, but no, this is just all, I'm not quite sure to be honest. Okay, and then at the bottom, found as authoritative ns1.afraid.org is not equal to tracing ns1.afraid.org via root servers. Okay. Now you might be able to go ns2.afraid.org. But yeah, that's, I want us to do it to see if that's exactly what they have. Looks like they do. You can go to Whois websites and stuff and see all that. Yeah. So there's an ns2.afraid.org. As big as this outfit is, it's a big outfit. They probably have a lot of them. You can put in that ns1, or you can put in a regular domain name. Now that's my donsongs.com, and it's going through domaincontrol.com. That's GoDaddy's. And I'm not paying any attention to the, I'm not even trying to pay attention. I don't think I could ever understand the path if I tried just glancing at it. But there you go. So that's a glimpse into how all that sort of stuff works. And maybe you can kind of see why I'm going in circles, because of course if you understand this stuff perfectly, then you probably know exactly what I could do to stop going in circles. But yeah, so leave comments if you got any help. This is not a teaching session. This is a learning session. I mean, it might be a little bit of a helpful to somebody that knows absolutely nothing about it. I try to always do that when I do things like the work. I love to learn, so most of my stuff is it might be half sharing knowledge and half learning, because it's never all sharing knowledge, because for one thing I can't remember half what I know. I used to say, well, all the little cliche jokes. I could remember half of what I learned and all that stuff. But anyway, forgot those. So I don't think I know any more. I don't think I have any more commands to try out. Let's see. So I don't want to go through the DNS forwarding. I mean, if nothing else, I will get it set up to automatically update the IP address. But I'll still be ending up at bishopco.us.2, and that determines whether or not I rebuild all my links on my website. I'll have to, I guess, to get this to work right, but it used to work right, so I just don't get it. That's why I haven't done it yet. I don't want to completely fix it, and then break it again when I build my new server. So basically this is my tryout server. And I suppose, oh yes, I'll probably have to turn my forwarding back on, because I want to go back. I'm going to change my router back to the router. I don't want this Net Pro Max running in here in my room all the time. It's too loud. I couldn't sleep. Makes too much heat. But guess I'll get out of there. No sense in, even if I remember any more commands, there's no sense in running them. And I'm about down to have a break now, so I guess I'm going to have to run and take a break. I may come back. I don't know. All I have to do is the reverse of what I did, point it back to my server outside, so maybe this would be silly to come back and just for that. And I'm tired, so I don't know. I may not come back then. I'll see. I'm not sure. I mean, I will come back when I work on it again tonight or tomorrow or whatever the next day. But I'm going to leave everything just as it is and go take my break. So I'm going to go and well, I succeeded in my first goal, and that's to get bishopco.biz to go to the Net Pro Max over the internet. And without me even realizing that they all still work, because the forwarding service still points, the forwarding service still points it. It's all set up to the same IP address, so it still points my other websites to the Net Pro Max now. But so I can go to bishopco.biz and actually just go straight to the Net Pro Max, or I can go to bishopco.com and go through the homeip.net forwarding. So that's the way it is right this minute, but I'm going to go back to forwarding the bishopco.biz because I want to use the backup server out in the garage until I get, everything finished. All right, I'm going to go, and thanks for watching.